Yes, boss. Shit, man. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Or you can't pour from an empty cup. Same difference. So here's the deal. The meaning of you can't pour from an empty cup means if you have nothing to give, you get what I'm saying, and you have things to take care of for yourself, you can't really give to other people because you're basically robbing yourself, if that makes any sense, right? So the reason why I put this out there as a topic is because as an empath as well, you have to understand that as much as you want to help somebody or help the next person, you cannot leave yourself last. Leaving yourself last, you're basically putting others before yourself to the point where you have nothing, therefore you're pouring from an empty cup. But if you're the type of person as to where you're taking care of yourself, then you know what, I have some extras or something I can do to help somebody else, then that's completely different. But pouring from an empty cup basically is the same as leaving yourself last, not putting yourself first. You get what I'm saying? Because think about it. What's the purpose of you having your energy, the power to do what it is that you want, but because you're an empath or you may care about other people, you tend to leave yourself last? If you do that, you're going to feel the effects of that. Because remember, I even did a video about this. Being nice can drive you into poverty. You feel me? Trying to help everybody or trying to help others and you're not receiving any help back, eventually you're going to burn yourself out. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper into that. Let's say for example, you got $100, right? You know you have other things to take care of. Somebody comes to you, hey man, can I get $20 to borrow? I'll give it right back to you. Okay, because you care about the person or you care or they probably played on your heartstrings, you help them out. You're down to $80. Somebody else comes to you, hey man, can you help me out, man? Can I hold like $30, please? I'll pay you back next week, right? Whatever the case may be. They don't, like, let's say they're not the type of person to pay you back, or you're just iffy of, okay, well, if this person's going to pay me back. You satisfied yourself by helping others, cool. But guess what? You're leaving yourself stranded. Now you're down to 50. Let's say you had a phone bill to pay. Let's say your phone bill is $60. You have 50, you need another 10. Originally, you had that whole 60, you just lent out money and gave to other people, i.e. you're pouring from an empty cup. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying you cannot be out here helping other people, but if you know that putting other people first or helping other people without taking care of yourself is going to put you in a bind, do not do it. I'm going to say that again. If you know that helping somebody or putting somebody's needs above yours is going to put you in a bind or leave you stranded, don't ever do that. Because I'm going to tell you why. In the life that we live, everybody has their own problems. Everybody has their own thing that they have to tend to, deal with, whatever the case may be, right? You taking up a person's problems because they told you about it, or you're using your empathic side, or you're trying to be discerning and care and help out the next person. If help means that you're going to put yourself last, do not do it. So here's the deal. Pouring from an empty cup has a lot of negative sides to it, way more negatives than positive. So when you're pouring from an empty cup, that's equivalent to you, as I stated, giving to others, leaving yourself last. Now go deeper into that. If you continuously do this, or you build a habit, or people understand that you're that type of person, you have to understand that this is where human nature now comes into play. There are people who will rely on the fact that, you'll always tell me yes. If people come to the realization like, I can come to this person for anything, or I can go to her for whatever, I could go to him and they're gonna always tell me yes. You're gonna build up yourself in that person's life as like a lifeline. You feel me? It's just like, you ever seen that show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? In Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, people get three lifelines. One of the lifeline is, I can call somebody and ask for what? For help. So if a person builds up that, you're a lifeline, or I can lean on you, or whatever the case may be, a person is going to become programmed to thinking I can always lean on you. But if you tell that person, I cannot do this, or whatever the case may be, that's you choosing to use what? Your rights, your power. This is your power. This is your stuff. This is your belonging. Whether it's money or whatever the case may be, your time, whatever. you're not obligated to do certain things. So pouring from an empty cup, all of this goes into the fold. You can leave yourself last. People can start to look at you as a lifeline. You're somebody I can always rely on. I could always call you. And here's another thing into being a lifeline for somebody, right? There are people out here who have way more options and way more abilities, like as in more people that they can call. They're just probably going to reach out to you and call you. Reason being, I'm going to tell you, rule number one, besides you being empathic, if you're a responsible person and people know that, people are going to always hit your phone. People are going to always find a way to get a hold of you. Let me see if I can ask you for something. Or if people know that you always working or you always keep a job, you're going to be somebody that people deem, I can call this person or I can ask them for something, because you're a person who's reliable. You feel me? You're like that Honda in my life. You feel me? I could call you. I could, whatever the case may be, you're going to be there. You have to understand that that should be a privilege. Not everybody should have access to you. And that's going to be the next video. Because if you give people these privileges or these grand accesses to you, to call you, ask you for stuff, they're going to become reliant on it. And when you decide to tell somebody no if they're not used to it, that can cause a problem for some people. Because mind you, as I stated back into what I said earlier, if people put you now in their head as a lifeline and that lifeline doesn't come through, what does that mean? Yo, I'm screwed. What am I going to do? So if a person looks at you as a lifeline, it depends on that person's like understanding at that moment, or if they're a selfish individual. Meaning, yo, hey, can I borrow 50, bro? I don't have it right now. Bro, you always got it, this, that, and the third. Or, bro, you can't let me hold 30. Bro, I do not have it. Some people will get pissed off or be like, okay, yeah, I understand. Deep down, they don't want to, because they're not able to obtain what it is that they wanted. They didn't meet their end goal. But understanding that being a lifeline for somebody is never good. Be a lifeline for yourself. You feel me? So if you know you got bills to take care of, you got things out here to handle, do not be out here putting other people's needs before yours. And when I stated that other people's situations might be different from yours, that means people could have other people internal to them that they can call. They'll just rather call you. And here's another game into that. When I said people rather call you, let's say some people have parents or grandparents or brothers and sisters that they could reach out to. Sometimes these people wouldn't ask them because why? One, sometimes their people already know how they are. You'll borrow, but you'll never pay back. Or you'll always lean on people, but people cannot lean on you, if that makes sense. Or it could be another instance where some people like to play this responsible boss life, and they don't like to ask their like parents or family, because they already have it built up in their heads on this certain type of a way. So in order for me to keep that game going with them, I have to lean on an outside source who I can obtain what I need, if that makes sense. So in front of my mom and dad, yeah, I'm hard working, but behind closed doors, I got somebody who's taking care of me. You ever seen those TV shows before where it's like, or like a scenario where somebody probably went off to school or played like they're this big, matter of fact, I'm gonna give you an example, right? Look at the Wayans brothers, one of my favorite shows. One of the episodes, Sean had a homie who went overseas to play basketball, right? When he came back, he was playing like, yeah, I got money, I got everything. In real reality, he was broke. You feel me? He was leaning on Sean and doing all of this stuff, asking him for money. Yo, can I stay with you? Sean is thinking, bro, this is my homie who's successful. You could come stay here. Wrong. Your homie is playing a game on your mind. He's just leaning on you. So you don't find out the fact that, yo, I'm really broke. I got cut from the basketball team. You feel me? Marlon is the one who found out you really don't have anything. You just came back here to take advantage of my brother. You feel me? So I say that to say this. In life, everybody has a game that they like to play. Some people like to play the, oh, I have money game, but they're borrowing from people behind closed doors. Some people like to play the rich game, but then deep down behind closed doors, somebody's funding their lifestyle. There's a lot of this stuff that goes on. You feel me? So I say that to say this. In life, pouring from an empty cup, there's a lot of different avenues that can run off with that one thing. But to pour from an empty cup is to give when you don't really have it to give to your own self. That's really it in a nutshell. So what I'm saying is never leave yourself last for anybody else. Never put anybody's needs above yours as to where you forget your own self and you cannot thrive again. You cannot take care of you and yours. You feel me? Do not let anybody feel like they can guilt trip you into giving up what it is that you have in order to help them. This is a tactic of manipulation. There are some people who do that. So in life, you have to understand that there's different ways that the ball can spin. You just have to make sure that you're taking care of yourself before you leave yourself stranded. I tell you guys all the time, I don't have parents. I don't have grandparents. I have brothers and sisters. But do I lean on my brothers and sisters? Do I ask them for anything? And guess what? I'm the last child. One, first and foremost, my brothers have kids. One of my sisters has a child. Okay, cool. You have your own responsibilities. You have your what? Your own obligations. So that means, in a nutshell, think of it like this. Your kids will damn near come before me. You feel me? You and your situation come before me. When sometimes people can look at you like, oh, you're single, you don't have kids, like me. Oh, this person, you supposed to have it. We could come to you. Wrong. Just because your situation might be different from other people, or some people might have 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 kids, doesn't mean that it's okay for people to lean on you in their time of need when you cannot do the same. You get what I'm saying? If you and a person's dynamic is different as to where they've been there for you, then that's completely different. That doesn't mean that they can guilt trip you into certain things. But what I'm saying is, if a person has already been there for you, they've been helping or whatever the case may be, that's completely fine. But to go ahead and have somebody try and lean on you or try and take from you, or do you have this to give, or let me lean on you? If you keep telling people yes, 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 that's going to become an expectation that's now built into people's mind as to where they're now waiting for that yes. You feel me? So with that being said, you don't want to put yourself in that situation, man. 440 for the world, man. Peace.